Good morning, everyone. My name is Theo, and I'm going to talk about hesitation disfluencies in the spontaneous speech. Also, the meaning of and Human speech is peppered with and ahs, among other signs of hesitation in the planning process. But are these so-called fillers or field pauses intentionally uttered by speaker, or are they side effects of difficulties in the planning process? And how do listeners respond to them? The present paper reviewed evidence concerning the production and comprehension of fields such as and in an attempt to determine whether they can be said to be words with meaning that are understood by listeners. To conclude, listeners are highly sensitive to hesitation disfluencies in speech. There is little evidence to suggest that they are intentionally produced or should be considered to be word in the conventional sense. When humans communicate, their messages are conveyed by more than just the word they use. They can, for example, use gesture to indicate what a phrase such as this one refer to, or change their tone of voice to show that the assertion that they love linguistic is not to be taken as face value. As well as these additional components of communication, the word of unprepared spoken language are likely to be accompanied by a range of unintentional errors. If, for example, a speaker exchanges the one set of two words by perhaps saying bang, board when intending to say down, door, it is highly unlikely that the exchange is intentional, and the occurrence of accidental speech errors like this may inform us about the nature of speech planning. Between these extremes of intentionality are disfluencies, or the false starts, repetition, and hesitations that accompany the word that speaker plan and utter. Averaging across several studies, Fox Tree estimated that approximately 6% of words uttered are or are affected by some form of disfluencies. These disfluencies may not always be accidental. It has been argued that some type of disfluency such should be counted among the tool the speaker has to communicating to the listener. Alongside these things such as tone of voice, others, such as false starts, may be due to speakers editing their own speech. Chief among the potential communicative disfluency are the so-called fillers, such as and which mark a hesitation on the part of the speaker. In this paper, investigating the role played by hesitation in human communication, with a particular focus on fillers and the communicative goal they may serve. Here's my table of contents. First, where do differences such as filler occur throughout? Next, what are hesitation, disfluencies, and cognitive load? Third, what's the meaning of and in the end, I will tell you guys how to reducing disfluency in spontaneous speech. After all of this, I will show you a short video of a short talk between Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal and see how they using filter and expand while they are using the filter. Investigation of where disfluencies such as filter throughout utterance have establish that they are more likely to occur before content words such as low frequency color names. However, Beatty and Butterworth come to a different conclusion when they investigated the distributional property of these fluencies across a set of recording of two-person conversations. They showed that both low-frequency contents word and those rated as contention improbable were likely to be preceded by hesitation such as failures when the frequency was held constant. Contextual probability still predicts this fluency, rather than attributing this fluency to cognitive load. Beatty and Butterworth suggest that speaker might be aware of an element of choice in selecting words with low contextual probability and where and were more likely to be disfluenced for this reason. Next, not enough practice. Research also shows do more practice can reducing hesitation disfluencies in your speech. And better preparation can reduce the mood of hesitation very well. Next, what are hesitation disfluency and what is a cognitive load? In spontaneous speech, any form of nonsense processes are called hesitation disfluencies. One of the most common hesitation disfluency is failures. And what is cognitive load? It is a process that you are phrasing your word and thinking about how to pronounce the word and what does it mean. The research shows that there is more likely a failure word throughout after cognitive load. Now, let's move on to the next part. What's the meaning of and are? Their meaning is no meaning. There are just two different kinds of delay. Is a longer delay and is a brief delay. Although there's no meaning in these two words, the study shows that people are more likely to memorize the contents that comes after and ahs. In the field of linguistics, some believe that and are mean someone is trying to throw out an opinion or phrasing what they are going to say next and lead the listener to the point which the speaker wants to send. Last but not least, how to reduce this fluency in spontaneous speech. First, as I have mentioned in the very beginning, practice more. Do more practice can before your speech can make you more confident and more fluent about it. Next, choice of word. You should choose the word that you are familiar with instead of some words which are uncommon and difficult. This can also help you do your speech with more fluency because the word in your speech are those you know very well. So there is this chance that you have a cognitive load, which only happen when you are not familiar with the words. Finally, using silent pause. You should get used to using a silent pause. It is one kind of phrasing and you'll need to learn how and when to use it, but not using fillers. Now I would like to show you a video from YouTube. And let's see how fillers are here in our daily conversation. Then we will see how many times and what kind of fillers throughout the speaker in this video. Skip this part. Alright, as you can see here, I have made a small record to count out how many times do the speaker use the filter and which one is the most frequent. The first one is and it has been used once. The second one is it has been used 10 times. Third one is like it has been used twice. Next, yeah, it has been used twice. After is I mean it has been used once. The final one is you know it has been used once. In my opinion, and yeah can be considered as the speaker was thinking about what he want to say and which the word he should use. You know, I mean, like, are more likely throughout when the speaker want the listener to agree with his opinion and reach a consensus. Taken together, the study have surveyed show that failures occur in utterance when speakers are uncertain or when they have choice to make. They affect the comprehension process, facilitating understanding and allowing the listener to amend their prediction about what might be said next and evaluates the speaker's confidence in what they are saying. Although this evidence is consistent with the view that and are words, other studies suggest that they do not have such data. Speakers may produce them automatically when there is a delay to the speech plan, and it may be the case that any plausible interruption to fluent speech will affect listener in the same way as a few words. So this is my presentation today. Thank you for listening.